Hey, today I'm talking about 3 iconic Paul Verhoeven films that I have seen before. And the names of those 3 movies are Total Recall, Starship Troopers, and Robocop. First up is Total Recall. This is a 1990 Arnold Schwarzenegger action mystery film, and I love it so freaking much. It's so good. If you're unfamiliar, the basic premise is it's the future, and Schwarzenegger plays this lowly construction worker that longs for an exciting life. So he goes to this company that will implant fake memories into his brain to give him like a nice fun vacation. Whilst there, either A, he does get the memories implanted, or B, he may have had his mind wiped and some crazy shenanigans ensue. There's so much I love about this movie. Like, just the story itself is so interesting and satisfying because like the movie never fully establishes which way it really goes. I'm sure plenty of people have done like deep dives on it to kind of like really overanalyze it, but like just kind of more watching it on a surface level, it doesn't feel like they really definitively point he's definitely dreaming or no, this is definitely all real, for sure happening. And I love that it's so open to interpretation that you can just decide what you want with it. And that's so fun because it's a mind movie. And by not giving us a definitive answer, it just makes you think even more and more. And that's great. I really loved how unrelenting the action was. It was kind of just action set piece, action set piece, action set piece, but it never got tiring. They were always still interesting because he was in different environments doing different things, and it just, I don't know, it really worked for me. It grew to it. And just speaking of things growing, I love how as the film goes on, it gets more and more dirty and gross. It starts off very clean, like Earth looks really, really nice, but then as he gets like thrust into this big mystery and the underlying community of Mars, it's just like, it's grosser and grosser and weirder, and I really vibed with that. It was like a nice, subtle way into the strangeness of the universe, and it's fun. Sharon Stone, that's all I'm gonna say. That's all that needs to be said. I really love the aesthetic of it all. It's got such a great vibe to it. To me, it really feels like this is the 90s. It's a kind of filmmaking that we don't really have anymore because like there's such a beauty to it and there's such a griminess to it. It's 100% my jam. Especially like all the practical effects. There's so many really cool practical effects. Like there's digital stuff in here too, but like this movie is just like filled to the brim with such great practical things. Like the mutants. I won't get into the mutants if you've never seen it before, but like there's so many great, really cool mutants. Really at its core, it's a thriller mystery film disguised as like a big over-the-top action film, and that just really works for me. I found the story so interesting and fascinating with a really, really satisfying end. Yeah, I know I did say it doesn't give you definitive answers, but like the ending still really works and really clicks, and I think that is true for most everyone. So if you've never seen it before, I highly, highly, highly recommend it. It's so much fun. It's a great story, goes to some cool places, and if you have seen it before, definitely give it a rewatch. It's such a good, fun time. You're in for a nice little treat. So yes, crazy love this movie, totally recommend. Next up is Starship Troopers. This is a 1997 film and probably the one I've seen the most out of the 3 I'm talking about today. If you're unfamiliar, the basic premise is in this right-wing utopia, there is this evil bug infestation from space that they gotta go kill and wipe out. It's a big satire, like it's so blatantly clearly just a satire. Like the first image of the movie is a very thinly veiled Nazi flag. Like it's so ridiculous and over the top, but I love it to bits. It really, really works at its core. I have so much to say on this movie. Like the satire is laid on so thick. But what I love too is that it's so clear that like all of these kids really don't understand what's going on insofar as like Rico, the main character, he just joins the military, not because he's like, yeah, government, I want to be a citizen, all that stuff. No, he's just like, he really wants to bang Denise Richards, which is fair. She's she's gorgeous in this and super smart and fun and funny and just a delight of a person overall. But he's just too horny for his own good to not notice like the terribleness of the world around him. And that's really true for all of the characters. Like they're all just like tunnel visioned on their own personal goals. Like to talk about Denise Richards real quick, her whole thing is she just really wants to be a pilot. And obviously the best way to be a pilot is to join the military where they have a bunch of spaceships you can pilot. She doesn't necessarily care about like what they're going for. She just wants to do cool pilot stuff, which is understandable. Like 18-year-old kids don't really think about the consequences of their actions. So like that perfectly tracks with real life, but also just serves as like a great metaphor for, I mean, just like a lot of right-wing bullshit stuff of like, you just get distracted by the thing that you want and then ignore all of the terrible stuff that's happening all around you. So yeah, no, I love that to bits. Also, like, it's so crazy the line the teacher says about anything given has no value. That really struck me as just, it's such clear bullshit. It's trying to point out like the flaws of welfare, of like, you can't just give someone help because then, you know, saving their life has no meaning because, you know, they didn't earn it. But like giving someone food to help them not starve to death has so much value, especially like if you're thinking about it in an economy sense. Like if you help that unhoused person rebuild their life, then they can start contributing to society and adding to the economy rather than leeching off of it. Like there is so much inherent value in helping people. And so like, yeah, the movie's just filled with so many just right-wing bullshitty things. But again, it's all presented as just like, this is clearly dumb. Another thing I really, really love too is that the bugs are like the perfect right-wing boogeyman because they make such a big point about how like, they don't think, they're just stupid bugs, like, blah, blah, blah. But also at the same time, these bugs are able to throw asteroids through warp space to attack Earth with them. So they're both incredibly stupid, but also can get you at any time whatsoever, which is consistently what right-wingers use for a boogeyman, is like, the Democrats are grossly incompetent, but also they control the deep state. So yeah, the bugs are just the perfect example of the other. So yeah, if you couldn't tell by all my ranting and ravings, I crazy love this movie. Like there's still so much more to this movie too. Like the action's great, the story is great, the characters are interesting. Like it's so easy to get wrapped up in the love and passion that these characters have for each other and kind of just forget about all of this bullshit dumb stuff that they're doing. That like, it serves as a perfect example of how people do get wrapped up in right-wing bullshit, is that like, they just focus on what they want to focus on and then get emotionally invested and then just completely ignore all of the damage that is happening along the way because of this belief. So yeah, this is a freaking perfect movie. I love it to bits. Highly, highly recommend it. If you've seen it or if you haven't seen it, it is a terrific watch. And lastly is Robocop. This is a 1987 movie that I've seen the least out of all of these three. Like I know all of the beats from the movie, I know the whole story, I've definitely seen all of the movie, but I don't think I ever really truly sat down and watched the entire thing all at once. So this was an interesting experience watching it. I definitely enjoyed it. It was definitely a good, interesting time. I actually watched this on Easter. The theme of the movie is resurrection, so that's why that's fun. The basic premise, if you're unfamiliar, is corporations are in control of all sorts of stuff. This cop gets murdered and this corporation that runs the police decides to turn him into a machine. And a lot of the movie is about how corporations can buy everything, even your body, but they can't take your soul. They can't buy your soul. Your soul is forever yours. Which is a great message. I do love that a lot. I don't really have a ton to say on the movie. Like, it was interesting, it was fun. This viewing experience didn't blow me away or anything, but I am glad that I have now definitively sat down and watched the whole thing. What I will say though is that the reason I chose to rewatch this is because I recently saw Dr. Peter Wellers, the guy who plays Robocop, at a convention, C2E2, and he is just so incredibly well-spoken and passionate, and it was just an amazing experience to watch that guy talk about whatever. Like, he went on a big 10-minute rant about politics in Renaissance times in Italy, and that was just amazing. But he also just like super deep dive analyzed the film, which makes sense that he has very insightful things to say because A, he's a doctor, but B, he's been talking about this movie for almost 40 years, so I get it. So I totally enjoyed this movie and would recommend it for sure. But if you ever get a chance to hear Dr. Peter Wellers speak, go for it. You're gonna be in for a good time. Even if you don't end up watching this movie, he just has such a great way with words that like, it's gonna do something for you no matter what. So yes, good solid movie, would recommend, but definitely without a doubt recommend if you ever get the chance to hear Dr. Peter Wellers speak. Definitely go give that a listen. Alrighty, now for today's rankings, first up we got Total Recall sitting at number 6 in the really like section. And then after that is Starship Troopers sitting at number 13, again in the really like section. And then bringing up the rear, not too terribly far behind, is Robocop sitting at number 28 in the quite like section. And this is out of a total of 72 old movies so far this year.